5.
The two boys involved in this taped fight with a school bus driver get some unexpected news from the state attorney's office.
The count is out of the bag. Reaction continues to pour in after the man known as Deep Throat steps forward.
Plus, our recent violent weather is just the latest reminder that hurricane season has arrived in Southwest Florida. Good morning, I'm Jeannie Crofts in for Patrick Comer.
And I'm Stacey Adams. Today is Wednesday, June 1st, of course, first day of hurricane season. And for the second morning in a row, unfortunately, a storm system is heading right for Southwest Florida.
Yeah, in fact, much of the area is currently under a tornado watch. Meteorologist Marisa Oaks joins us now with a look at your forecast.
And of course, to help you get ready, today also marks the start of the state's hurricane sales tax holiday.
Yeah, for the next 12 days, you will not have to pay sales tax on certain supplies. That'll save you about 6%. So here's what you'll get the tax break on: flashlights, lanterns, and other lights that cost less than $20. Gas or diesel fuel tanks less than $25. Batteries, coolers, and first aid kits less than $30. Radios, tarps, waterproof sheets, and tie-down kits that are less than $50, and portable generators selling for less than $750. The Home Depot in North Fort Myers says they are stocked up and ready for the start of the season.
Well, what hope?
And here's some more good news. Home Depot is matching the hurricane tax savings. Now, Wink News, of course, is your source for hurricane season advice and information. The Wink Hurricane Survival Guide is now available at any Home Depot store. You can also find the online version on the guide, the latest weather conditions, and more in the Hurricane Central section. Just go to winktv.com. Well, some hurricane victims are concerned their homes are not ready for this year's rainy season. They say heavy rain will put extra stress on their roofs, which have not been repaired since Charley. The federal government put blue tarps on about 30,000 damaged roofs in Charlotte County. About half of them are still up. Today, the Punta Gorda City Council will talk about a plan to replace the city's Holiday Inn. Hurricane Charley destroyed the hotel. Well, now INC Development Group wants to replace it with the Harbor Inn and Yacht Club. The development would feature condominiums and boat slips, which would both be available for short-term rental. Team Punta Gorda, a citizens group working to guide hurricane recovery in that city, supports the project. Today's meeting has been moved to accommodate what is expected to be a large crowd. So if you'd like to attend, find out more about it. The meeting will take place in the Parish Hall of the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. That's on West Charlotte Avenue. It is scheduled to begin at 9 o'clock this morning. The former Stero postmaster accused of embezzling more than $250,000 says she did not steal that much. Ida Rasnick tried to plead guilty to 2 counts of embezzlement yesterday, but a federal judge would not accept her plea. Rasnick wanted charges to show she stole about $90,000, but she was indicted for embezzling more than $250,000 between 2001 and 2004. If convicted, she could face up to 20 years in prison and $500,000 in fines. Welcome back to Wink News this morning. Well, the markets look to rebound after starting the holiday shortened week on a down note. Meanwhile, a couple of airline stocks are soaring, and 2 online trading companies could soon become one. Alexis Christophorus brings us up to date in this morning's Money Watch. Investigators now say a house fire in Cleveland that killed 9 people is an arson case. The ruling reverses the initial determination that the May 21st fire was accidental. Officials have not identified a motive or a suspect, but have scheduled a news conference for this morning. Yesterday, nearly 4,000 people gathered for a funeral service honoring 8 of those victims. The UN Security Council has extended the mandate of the U.S.-led multinational force in Iraq. The council says it hopes Iraqi forces will soon be able to play a greater role and ultimately assume responsibility for their own country's national security. In a unanimously approved statement, the council re-emphasized earlier calls to member states to prevent the transit of terrorists into Iraq, as well as the flow of arms and money to sustain them. A key figure in uncovering the scandal that led to President Nixon's resignation has stepped forward.
Mega. And hurricane season is officially here. It's June 1st, and as you get ready to buy supplies, expect you can save some money today.
Yeah, starting today, many important supplies will be tax-free. Some good news for you. So this happens for the first 12 days of June, so now's the time to stock up. Here's what you get the tax break on: flashlights, lanterns, and other lights that cost less than $20. Gas or diesel fuel tanks that are less than $25. Batteries, coolers, and first aid kits for less than $30. Radios, tarps, waterproof sheets, and tie-down kits that are less than $50, and portable generators that sell for less than $750. One home supply store has been working hard to make as many items as possible eligible for the discount. And here's some more good news. Home Depot is matching the hurricane tax savings. Cape Coral residents may also get a better idea of who their neighbors are. The city is considering a resolution to notify you by mail if a sexual offender lives within a quarter mile of your home. Right now, local governments and law enforcement do not have to notify residents if an offender lives nearby. Currently, you have to look for that information yourself on the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's website. Cape Coral's mayor says it's important for the council not to rush to a decision. While city leaders are figuring out how much the plan would cost, they should know that information by next week. The opening of the new Midfield terminal will not mean an end to construction at Southwest Florida International Airport. Yesterday, the Port Authority Special Management Board agreed to pay Owen Ames Kimball Company about $24 million to rehabilitate the runway and taxiway at the airport. The whole Montes company will get $1.3 million for construction, administration, and support. And the Airport Management Board is recommending giving Yellow Cab service exclusive rights to pick up passengers at the new terminal who do not have cab reservations. Airport managers say the decision will improve service for passengers. As you may expect, competing cab companies are angry, saying the new deal violates Florida's right to work law. Currently, more than 30 cab companies pick up passengers who do not have reservations. Airport managers say the decision will improve service for passengers. While the Florida Everblades return home tonight looking to extend their season and the ECHL Finals by one more game. The Blades trail Trenton in the best-of-7 series 3-2. A loss tonight would end the series and the team's hopes of winning the Kelly Cup. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Many people did not expect the Blades to be back at Germain Arena after losing the first 2 games at home. While the team is happy to be back in Southwest Florida, the players are still smarting from blowing a 2-goal lead in Game 5.
I guess you could say it
was described as the Woodstock of the 80s.
Well, now organizers are planning a similar event for this summer. Roy Chouchet has more on the concerts that will feature some of the biggest names the music world has to offer. Well, Marilyn Monroe fans are getting a rare look into her life.
More than 300 items from the Hollywood legend's life are now on display in L.A., where they will soon be up for auction. If you've got the bucks, they've got the stuff. One of the most interesting pieces is a watercolor painting that Marilyn did for President John F. Kennedy. There are even some secrets revealed in all this memorabilia. Jeannie, a note from her beautician. I can't believe this is coming out. Gives the exact formula to get that trademark blonde hair.
Peroxide and a little more peroxide.
I thought your beautician's never supposed to speak.
Oh, I know, right? They have to sign the paperwork.
She was supposed to take it to the grave, but that was her true hair color, I'm sure.
Well, I've always wondered what people do once they have these things. So maybe you have the little sheet or something that says her hair color formula. Like a few years ago, somebody paid an extraordinary amount of money for leftover fries that one of the NSYNC singers had eaten. It's like, then what do you do with it once you take it home? Do you display it because you paid thousands of dollars for it?
But they're going to be moldy.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of gross.
I don't know. What do you
I'm
do?
interested to see who buys the hair formula.
Maybe I'll try it out.
Yours is natural. What are you talking about?
That's right. Well, a Florida doctor accused of helping Al-Qaeda makes his first appearance in court.
Still ahead. We'll tell you what.
Doesn't that just look cloudy and wet? It looks like we are in for a much like yesterday sort of kind of forecast. There's a chance for thunderstorms throughout the day. A lot of places are actually getting it already. And much of Southwest Florida is actually now under tornado watch until 11 this morning. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. Marissa has a complete look at your forecast coming up in 2 minutes. And starting today, you'll be able to get a hold of your credit report for free. Part of the Fair Credit Reporting Act gives consumers access to their credit report for free once a year. Florida Consumer Services says the reports are a valuable way to protect yourself against identity theft. We have set up a link to the website where you'll be able to register for the free reports. I'm going to do this myself. Just log on to our website, winktv.com, and look under the hot link section. A judge is considering when to open Rush Limbaugh's medical records. Limbaugh's attorney urged the judge yesterday to review the records before they are open to prosecutors. Prosecutors seized the records in 2003 as part of their investigation into whether he bought prescription drugs illegally. The conservative radio host claims the seizure violated his privacy rights. Limbaugh has not been charged with a crime and has maintained his innocence.
We are 30 seconds away from 6 a.m. and here's a look at what is making news this morning. 2 Charlotte County students charged with fighting their bus driver will not face felony charges. Hear what their parents have to say about that decision.
And the recent rains have some hurricane victims in Charlotte County worried their roofs won't hold up. We'll tell you just how many people are still waiting for repairs. Plus, coming up at 6:25.
This morning at 5.
I have a real problem with waiving impact fees, primarily because impact fees exist for a reason, because growth doesn't pay for itself.
Critics speak out against a local city's practice of waiving impact fees for developers.
And closing arguments wind down as jurors in the Michael Jackson case begin deliberations.
Plus, can you believe it? More rain makes its way across Southwest Florida, but will our skies clear up in time for the weekend? Good morning.
A professional football star is coming home to Southwest Florida today. Deion Sanders is expected to make an announcement in Fort Myers this afternoon. Mayor Jim Humphrey's office says Sanders will talk about new efforts to build affordable housing. The city has built several single-family affordable housing units, but officials say more are needed. This will be Sanders' second visit to the area in the past 3 weeks. Last month, he preached at First Assembly Cornerstone in the Dunbar neighborhood. Fort Myers began waiving water and sewer impact fees during the mid-1990s to bring more developers to the city. And while the move has brought more builders in, critics say it's cost the city millions of dollars. The program is supposed to last until 2011, but as Wink News reporter Amy Roos tells us, some say the city cannot afford to wait that long. And that was Amy Roos reporting. The director of finance for the city says it'd be great to collect the impact fees, but says the city would experience too much litigation from developers if it's trying to start collecting before 2011. 2 suspects in Lee County's first human trafficking cases are expected to be arraigned in federal court today. Yesterday, a 3rd suspect pleaded not guilty to holding a teenage girl captive. Matilde Pascual Andres is scheduled to be back in court in August. The 3 suspects were arrested last month. They are accused of holding the girl hostage, raping and beating her in a Cape Coral home. The Lee County Sheriff's Office has completed its investigation into a former deputy who appeared in a sexually explicit video. The office conducted an internal investigation into former Deputy Gina Wisely's conduct in a videotape shot in Key West during Fantasy Fest 2001. The investigation found Wisely was involved in conduct unbecoming of an officer and an unlawful act. In a sworn statement, Wisely said she thought the videotape was for private use. She said she did not know it would be sold on the internet. No action was taken against Wisely because she resigned on May 19th. In a resignation letter, she apologized for embarrassing the sheriff's office and her family. And welcome back. President Bush moves quickly to fill the vacancy at the top of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and it could be an eventful day for Walmart. Ed Crane has those stories and more in this morning's Money Watch. A Charlotte County woman will stand trial for the murder of her 7-year-old daughter. Yesterday, a judge ruled that Ruth Ann Burns was competent to face a second-degree murder charge in the death of her daughter, Hannah. The trial is scheduled to begin on October 16th. Police found the girl's body last June in a Punta Gorda motel room. Burns has received treatment for a variety of mental health problems. We have top stories for you every 15 minutes right here on Wink TV. The next are at 5:30, 5:45, and 6 o'clock. Thank you, Marissa. Well, the jury in Michael Jackson's child molestation trial could begin their deliberations later today.
But as Susan...
Hundreds of Southern California residents have been allowed to return to their homes after a landslide destroyed several expensive homes. The landslide sent multi-million-dollar homes sliding into a canyon on Wednesday. 34 homes were damaged, 15 of those significantly. The cause of the disaster is still under investigation, but some people who lost their homes are blaming overdevelopment in the area. Well, investigators say the slides are almost surely linked to the heavy rains that hit the area this winter. City officials say residents will not be able to recoup their losses since most insurance agencies have stopped offering protection against landslides. Well, just one word stood between a California 13-year-old and the National Spelling Bee title.
Oh, yeah, and this word was no gimme. The word appoggiatura. Appoggiatura. Want to take a guess? All right, now let's list it up and see how we all stack up against this amazing teenager.
Hurricane Charlie gave many of us lasting memories, and 9 months later, the storm's impact is once again being seen at local hospitals. ION Your Health reporter Candace Rotolo offers proof that some couples were doing more than just cleaning up after the storm. Well, doctors at Peace River Hospital in Charlotte County say they've also seen a slight spike in the number of deliveries compared to this time last year. And doctors in Lee and Charlotte counties believe the hurricane baby boom will continue through the rest of the summer. Congressman Connie Mack says Social Security should not be the biggest concern for people living in Southwest Florida. Mack spoke at the Marco Island Police Foundation luncheon yesterday. The Republican told Wink News his biggest concern for the region, expanding I-75. And coming up later this morning, Congressman Mack will join us live in the studio to talk more about traffic concerns and Social Security. That's coming up at about 7:25. Well, gaining confidence, learning responsibility, and learning a little extra cash.
Well, those are just lawsuits.
Yeah, boaters groups are challenging the new ordinance to create speed zones in Naples Bay. And as Wink News reporter Trey Radel explains, those challenges could eventually turn into court cases. Yeah, all the challenges will go to an administrative law judge. No date has been set yet, but if the decisions do not go the way the boaters want, they can go to court. The new speed zones will not go into effect until all of the challenges are settled, which could take years. And it is just about 5:45. The lead guitarist for the rock group Rush has filed a lawsuit against the Ritz-Carlton and 3 Collier County deputies stemming from an altercation at the Naples Hotel. Alex Zovinovich, his son, and his daughter-in-law are seeking compensation for injuries, pain and suffering, mental anguish, and the cost of their defense. The 3 were at a 2003 New Year's Eve party at the hotel when a fight took place. In April, the guitarist and his son entered no contest pleas on charges of resisting arrest without violence.
On to movies. Last time Ron Howard teamed up with Russell Crowe, the result was the movie A Beautiful Mind.
Great movie, too. Well, this time around, the pair step into the ring to tell the story of boxer James Braddock. It's Cinderella Man. Crowe portrays Braddock, the washed-up boxer whose comeback during the Great Depression excited the entire nation. Renee Zellweger also stars in the movie. Cinderella Man is rated PG-13. And Lords of Dogtown, it chronicles a skateboard culture that began in California during the 1970s. Find out how surfing went from the ocean to the streets. It's based on a true story. And Lords of Dogtown is rated PG-13. And in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, a pair of jeans keeps 4 separated friends together. Through miles apart, the 4 friends still experience life, love, and loss together in a summer they will never forget. Based on the best-selling novel, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is rated PG-13. There's a lot of good movies out. Well, of course, Baby V Mania will hit Fort Myers for a good cause.
Yeah.
But that'll sell out very quickly, too.
I think it probably would, too, yeah.
I still see so many signs around, you know. We love Baby V and supporting her, so
she's very popular.
She is. Oh, she's a great singer, too. Beautiful voice, absolutely. It is 5:53. Investigators are still trying to determine whether or not to charge a 7-year-old boy with an unthinkable crime.
Up next, fall.
Testimony will resume on Monday in the trial of 2 former pilots accused of being drunk in the cockpit. The trial has been delayed because the judge is out sick. The main dispute is whether the engines were running at the gate at Miami International Airport in July of 2002. Both pilots say they are not guilty because they did not have direct control of the plane when they were arrested. Well, when you think of pies, you probably don't think about health, but we had an exception this morning.
Yeah, how good they are. Mason's Bakery in downtown Fort Myers, July holidays.
And we both know Mason's Bakery is so good.
They do make good stuff.
Yeah, everything from scratch. I was there one morning, and they work hard on those things, but good cause and good pie. It is just about 6 o'clock this morning. Here's what's making news. Critics say impact fee waivers are costing the city millions, and they want it to stop.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Patrick Homer.
And I'm Jeannie Crofts, in for Stacey Adams. Today is Friday, July 8th. Of course, everyone has their eyes on Hurricane Dennis. Southwest Florida is under tropical storm warnings and watches as Hurricane Dennis approaches the Gulf. Meteorologist Marissa Oaks has the latest on the storm in Hurricane Central. Thanks, Marissa. And here's a quick look at the latest developments with Hurricane Dennis. Governor Jeb Bush has declared a state of emergency for all of Florida. The declaration clears the way for local governments to order evacuations and open shelters. And many of these orders may come today. Also, all residents of the lower Keys have been ordered to evacuate. Officials warn that order could be extended if Dennis's projected path moves more to the east. And all tourists and mobile home residents in the Keys have been asked to leave the islands. Also, state officials say Florida has an ample supply of fuel, but they advise you to use fuel supplies wisely as Dennis approaches. Fort Myers Beach leaders say they expect to make a decision on possible evacuation orders by early this afternoon. Wink News reporter Amy Mendoza spoke with beach residents who are once again preparing for a major hurricane. That was Amy Mendoza reporting. Town leaders say it's important for residents and businesses to start boarding up their property now, just in case an evacuation is ordered. But many business owners told Wink News they plan to stay open even if the island faces tropical storm force winds.
Passes.
Well, local schools, especially those under construction, are making preparations as well. 8 new schools are being built right now in Lee County, and district leaders say those sites are being locked down along with 80 other schools and facilities. The same is true for schools in Collier and Charlotte counties. School leaders will meet with emergency operations officials again today to decide if any schools will open as shelters. Here's a look at some of this morning's top stories and weather. Governor Bush has called off an inquiry into Terry Schiavo's collapse 15 years ago. The governor made the decision after the state attorney found no evidence of criminal activity. Mr. Bush has cited an alleged gap between when Schiavo's husband found her and when he called 911. But the state attorney found that Michael Schiavo's statements saying he called for help immediately have been consistent, and that an eating disorder most likely caused Terry's collapse.
So most of London's subway system is back up and running this morning after a deadly series of bombings.
But as Bianca Solorzano reports, much of the city remains shaken by the apparent terrorist attack. Welcome back. Hurricane Charlie did more than destroy homes and bring down buildings. It also changed the environment.
Major as it heads toward the Gulf of Mexico.
New projections have prompted forecasters to issue tropical storm warnings and watches for much of southwest Florida. Let's turn to meteorologist Marisa Oaks, who's in Hurricane Central at the very latest. Hey, Marisa.
Hey, Dennis is still very...
Dennis.
Certainly, and with the storms past still uncertain, though, many people are waiting until the last minute to stock up. We want to check in with Wink News reporter Jeff Anderson, who's live at a Lee County Walmart. Jeff, it looks like a little bit of activity there behind you.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, Jeff, just a good idea. Just go ahead and get it now.
Oh, absolutely. Get it now before everything hits. Be prepared. It's not going to go bad.
Exactly. Thanks, Jeff. Punta Gorda's Monitor a Sex Offender program is being discussed at the congressional level. Congressman Mark Foley publicly congratulated the department yesterday. As a part of the program, police officers monitor the 4 offenders living within city limits, and they also check in with them once a month. Foley says the department's efforts are crucial to preventing sex crimes. Congressman Mark Foley used the Punta Gorda Police Department's program as an example when proposing a new bill called the Sex Offender Registration Notification Act. And it is a 5:47. Of course, our top story this morning is Hurricane Dennis, which is making its way toward the Gulf of Mexico.
The latest projection.